Hello, sir. My name is Mayur Mahesh Kumbhar. My PRN number is 2165021. So, as per your requirement, you given us a topic that select any component and you have to write manufacturing process of it. So, I selected the spur gear, sir. So, let's see the manufacturing process of spur gear. Spur gears means what is exactly meant by spur gears? Let's see. Spur gears are straight cut gears are the simplest type of gears. They consist of cylindrical or disc with teeth projecting radially. Stainless steel is a metal alloy commonly used in the casting of spur gears. So here are some mechanical properties of spur gears. The first one is tensile strength, second is density, third is ductility, and last is wear resistance. So what is the methodology? Let's see. First is gathering of raw materials. Second is casting. It's optional. Third is sewing. Fourth is turning. Fifth is pocket milling. Sixth drilling. Seven is hobbing, and next one is gear broaching. Now, following is the methodology selected for spur gears. First one is gathering of raw materials. Means after the selection of the material, the next step is to gather the raw materials from which the spur gear is to be manufactured. Means we have to gather raw materials for manufacturing of spur gears. Raw materials can be gathered from different manufacturer or material suppliers. The second is casting. Casting is a manufacturing process in which a liquid material is usually poured into the mold, which contains a hollow cavity to desired shape, and the allowed to solidify. Means molten metal pour into the casting cavity and we have to gain a shape like the casting cavity. The solidified part is known as casting, which is ejected to or broken out from the mold to complete the process. Next is sewing. Sewing is a process where narrow steel sheet is cut into the workpiece by a tool consisting of a series of narrowly spaced teeth called saw blade. Sawing is used to separate work parts into two or more pieces to cut off unwanted parts. Typically, the materials used for making saw are high-speed steels, carbon steel, and high-speed edges. Next one is turning process. Turning is a cutting operation in which single point cutting tool removes material from rotating workpiece to generate a cylinder. Turning operation is performed on machine tool called lathe machine. So mostly turning operation is performed on lathe machines. Various type of turning operations can be performed such as facing, counter turning, chamfering, and threading. Conventional turning will be applied to the parts in which tool is fed longitudinally as a certain depth of cut to reduce the diameter of stock. The outer diameter of stock after turning would be 60 mm. It noted that outer diameter of stock after turning would be 60 mm. The next is pocket milling. It is the machine operation in which the workpiece is fed past a rotating tool with multiplying cutting edges. Cutting tool is called as milling cutter. The cutter axis is perpendicular to the surface being milled, whereas in peripheral milling cutter, the axis parallel to the surface. Pocket milling is type of end milling, which is used to create shallow pockets in flat surfaces. Next one is drilling processes. A drilling process is an operational used to create round holes in workpiece. Cutting tool for drilling operations is called a bit drill and machining tool is called as a drill press. Drill bit comes with in various sizes in order to create holes in different sizes. Two types of drilling holes exist. The first one drill through holes and blind holes. Through these holes are one is which drill which exist opposite side to the workpiece, whereas blind holes are the ones in which drill doesn't exist opposite side of workpiece. The next one is hobbing process. Hobbing process is a machining process for gear cutting, cutting spline, cutting sprockets on a hobbing machine. It is a spherical, special type of milling machine. The teeth or splines in the gear are progressively cut into the material by series of cuts made by cutting tool called as a hob. It is a mostly widely used in gear cutting process for creating a spur gear and helical gears. Gear broaching is next process of manufacturing spur gears. The gear broaching is a machine process that used to tool called broach. There are two types of broaching. First one is linear broaching and second one is rotary. Broaching can be used to generate external as well as internal gears. With the help of broaching process, we can shape a gears into the spur gears. In this process, to generate internal gear with 34 teeth in workpiece after hobbing process. So it's mostly important process is gear broaching is used to gear or used to make gear on our workpiece. The next one is so here are flow chart of process of here are flow chart of spur gear manufacturing process. So we can see that in first block selection of material, after that gathering raw materials, each step one by one. The in third block sawing for cutting workpiece to given thickness, and next is turning for diameter reduction. In next block we see pocket milling for creating steps in workpiece, and in next box drilling for creating holes. After that, hobbing for generating external gears, and last one is broaching for generating internal gears. Hobbing is used for generating external gears and broaching is used for generating internal gears. So what would be conclusion? So conclusion is that after knowledging different ways or different methods or theory of spur gears, above mentioned process as we selected as the best suitable process, keep in mind of following restrictions, that is number of parts, accuracy, carbon emission and cost. By following process one can generate spur gear with minimum cost. It is the benefit of this process we can generate spur gear at minimum cost. So here are some references. Thank you.